Hi, my name is Claire. Welcome back to my channel. For this week's video, I'm going to be doing a home for the zodiac sign Capricorn. Capricorns are in between of the dates December 22nd and January 19th, and they are the 10th sign, and they are an earth sign, and their symbol is the sea goat. And I'm just getting all this from Google, so I'm sorry if I sound like I'm reading from a script. I'm just going off of what Google has to say. And some things that stood out to me about Capricorns is that they're hardworking, they are strong work ethics, they have leadership skills, and I wanted to kind of like go into that with like having a little bit of a strong work ethic. I was mentioning that this sim that would live in this home would be at like the top of their career or be a CEO of a company. And I know maybe if you're a Capricorn, you're like, this doesn't really relate to me. This is just my interpretation. I personally don't identify with all the things that my zodiac sign is, and so we're just going to be working on the front entryway of this home. I was mentioning that this home would be kind of like a more traditional home, but then the sim that lives in this home kind of came in and renovated a lot of things to make it more high end, make it more of their which would be kind of more like a high-end kitchen, very fancy. Again, I was mentioning that this sim would be at the top of their career, so like they have the money to like get a semi-rundown home and renovate it to their likes. And so I just want to say a big thank you to those who have subscribed to this channel and have helped this channel grow to what it is. We're at 153 subscribers at the time of me recording this video, which I don't know if I could imagine myself last year being at 150 subscribers. Thank you so much to those who are helping my little channel grow here on YouTube. If you want to see more content from me, I'm also on Instagram. I'm going to try to improve my content and going to try to make things a little bit more polished on the social media side of my channel. And I just want to take a moment to say thank you to those who have hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, t- told my about my YouTube channel to a friend. It really does mean a lot to me to have support from the Sims community and to like just have people watch these videos. So we're just going to be finishing up the main living space in the living room, and I kind of made it into a living room slash library with this big library wall with the bookshelves, obviously, and then the little window bench seat. And then I do add more bookshelves to the other side of the wall just to make it feel like a library. I was mentioning that this sim would be a bookworm for and that would it's obviously explain a lot of these books in the living room. But I was mentioning that the sim would be very smart and like their smarts have like kind of gotten them to the top of their career. So we're just going to be adding a powder bath. This is technically the chimney of the house, but a 3x1 tile bathroom is a very good use of space, and I wanted to make sure that there was like a first floor and a second floor bathroom. This is a two bedroom, two bathroom home. Technically, the second bedroom is also the home office. Again, I was mentioning that this sim would be high in their career, and so they needed a home office. I was mentioning that 1 to 2 Sims would be in the space anyway, and so they don't really need a second bedroom unless you have guests over. You can obviously change that bedroom back into a bedroom and not into an office. You might just also need to move around the door on the bathroom in the second level. But before we go to the second level, we still have the kitchen to get to. So we're also going to be adding a chest table next to this window, which I thought was kind of fun to add. There was just this blank space that I feel like it needed to get filled, and so I did go first with a cat tree, but because that didn't work, I just decided to cut that out of the video and show you what I ended up going with the chest table. And I really like these chairs, but I feel like the first chest table I went for looked like it more felt like it was at a park and not like an indoor space. And so now we're just going to be working on a little breakfast nook area for these Sims, and we're just going to be adding a little salt and pepper shaker just to have something on the table. I didn't want to have like a lot of space since it's just a very small table. I kind of forgot this table was in the game, and I'm like, oh yeah, I like that table. It looks just a little cute, cozy breakfast nook, and that is like the main dining space. There's no other space to dine in unless you're going outside. This is a pack limited build, so I didn't want to go too crazy with anything in the home, trying to keep it very simple in the kitchen. And I do have a little color chart for Capricorns. I found it off Pinterest and it did help me with like the color choices of this space. It has a lot of like tan and like light pink colors, and then it has a lot of like dark green to dark blue to black colors on the template I found, and so that was a great help to me. I've used like a color chart for each one of my zodiac builds, and I feel like the one that I struggled the most with was when I did the Leo Zodiac Home, because those colors are all so vibrant. I had to put the color chart in the screen or on the screen to like show like, hey, I was like following the color chart, because I kind of thought people are like, what are you doing on this house? And so if you're a Leo, you might want to go check out that video. I did create a zodiac home build playlist on my channel, so it is easier for you to go watch other builds related to zodiac signs that I've done. But now, before we go to the zodiac playlist, we're going to be on the second level of the home. And I first added this bookshelf up here to kind of have a nice second level reading area, but it does get moved into the home office, and I feel like I had a pretty good floor plan up here until I started placing items, and then I realized like, oh, maybe I don't know exactly what I want to put up here. And I do try to always have like this figured out before I start recording, but sometimes it's like when I put the furniture down, it's like, oh, that seems tighter than I originally planned. Like, wait, what was going on in that other corner that I planned for? And so we're now in the home office, and this space was kind of tricky because it's a weird shape and it is a large, weird shape. This is the room that could technically be the second bedroom, but it just has one bed in it. So I'm going to put it on the Sims 4 gallery as just having one bedroom because there's only one bed, but you can just move a bed into the space, and we're just going to be now furnishing this office space. And that was the hardest part, is like I wanted it to like be a skill building area as well as a home office, but I couldn't figure out like what to put where. And so I do have an art easel and a bonsai tree area, and we're just going to be working on figuring out how to make this space work a little bit better. And my idea was to give the primary bedroom a closet, and I thought this was a fun idea to have a little bit of a closet. I feel like closets are very necessary in the real world, but your Sims can easily change clothes anywheres. And so that was like kind of like, wait, I should make this realistic. I should have a closet in this home. And so now we are in the bedroom. I was going to call it the second bedroom. Technically, it is the primary bedroom, and it does have its own ensuite. So we were just kind of keeping with this like dark green theme, which is one of my favorite colors. So that wasn't really too hard to choose. Like, oh, what colors should I do? And look over my color chart, and it's like, oh, maybe I should do more dark green. So we're just going to be adding a little dresser. That is a picture frame TV above the dresser, and we're just going to be adding a few more art pieces into this space, and going to be adding a little seating area by the window. This bedroom is also bigger than I was planning on, and I was planning on like having like a dresser space in the bedroom, but then when I like have like an actual closet, I was like, okay, well, since I don't have a need for a dresser because of the closet, what should I do on this like area when you first enter the room? And luckily my mom came in at this very moment, and she's like, maybe I could do an art gallery wall, and she approved of that idea. And so that's what we're going to be working on now. So we're just going to be kind of figuring out like what pictures work best where, and I wanted to mostly use the base game pieces because my other two options I feel like I used a lot of, with them being the Life and Death pack and the Strangerville pack, and the Strangerville wall pieces just weren't really doing a whole lot. There was just a lot of like more sciencey pictures. I was trying to go for more like homey type of established sim type of art pieces. So we're just going to be adding a few items to the sitting area, and going to be adding a few items on top of the dresser. So we're just going to be adding some candles, and now we are in the primary suite. And if you do want to make this a two-bedroom house, you can do a little bit of rearranging in the space so the sim in the second bedroom doesn't have to walk through the primary bedroom to get to the bathroom. And maybe you could also make this a three-bedroom home by moving the closet and changing it into a bathroom. That would be a pretty tight bathroom, but I think it could be done. I, I probably should have just done that like at the beginning of the video. Now that I'm like saying it out loud, that would be kind of a cool shaped bathroom, but it is also an equally cool closet. So we're just going to be adding some storage into this space, and going to be adding a few decorations. And now we are in the closet, so we're just going to be adding like a proper dresser, and then we're going to be adding some mirrors to the space, kind of have the illusion that it's not as weird of a corner space that it is. And then we do have some open shelving in the closet as well, which I thought was my favorite part was having like this like open storage area. It's kind of like where you're supposed to like plan their outfits for the day. And so we're just gonna be adding back in the proper dresser and going to be adding a rug just to kind of help break up the space and bring some color into the space as well, since it is very awkwardly shaped. It kind of needed something to distract from that shape. And now we're just going to be finishing up the interior of the home before we go to the backyard. The backyard is very simple, so we're just going to be adding a few art pieces into the office and going to be heading into the backyard. This is my last video of 2025, so thank you so much for supporting me on this journey of creating sim content in 2025. I hope to see you all in 2026. If you want to see me build something specific, please leave a comment down in the comment area. I post new videos every single Tuesday, so I hope to see you all next year in 2026. If you're in the need for a planner or a calendar still, I have an Etsy shop where I have created a few calendars. They are all under $5, very affordable. They're digital downloads, and so I'm looking forward to the year 2026. I hope you all have a happy and safe New Year Eve and New Year's Day, and I hope to see you all in the next one. Bye!